All right, folks. So, it was news of a kind that Bad Bunny was going to be performing the Super Bowl halftime show. And it was really news to me because I had no idea who Bad Bunny was. But
Hmm.
Bad Bunny, Puerto Rican artist, one,
Apparently, biggest artist in the world.
apparently really big. Apparently, I'm even more lame than I thought I was.
Yeah,
I knew I was
yeah.
kind of lame, but I didn't realize I was this lame. I had literally no idea who he was. Absolutely no idea. I thought that was, Jared Kushner's code name for Air Force One. That's for all I
Yep.
know. It could have been that. I had absolutely no clue. But Bad Bunny is the halftime show, and he famously went on Saturday Night Live. We did a whole segment on this, saying that people had 4 months to learn Spanish before his halftime show. He famously has declined to tour in the United States for fear that his fans might be detained by ICE going to his concerts. And so, in response to Bad Bunny being chosen for the halftime show, of course, Jack Posobiec with the Tim Pool guys announces that Turning Point will be doing their own sort of parallel halftime show to air at the same time that Bad Bunny's on, so that the real Americans during halftime can tune in to the real American TPUSA halftime show. Here he is.
Clear to me what must be done here is that Turning Point USA needs to host a counter-programmed halftime show starring the only sincere band that has kept going with a fully Christian theme, as you say,
Celine Dion.
from day one. No, American band, American. Get that Canadian nonsense out of here, Luke. I'm talking about Creed, I'm talking about Scott Stapp, I'm talking about taking this entire country higher to a place with golden streets.
That's right. That's right. So, Turning Point USA followed up by announcing, yes, a huge announcement. It's true. Turning Point USA is thrilled to announce the All American halftime show, performers, and details coming soon. So you notice that tweet was sent out on October 6th, so about 5.5 days ago at the time of this recording. Now, shortly after that, this graphic started circulating online. Turning Point USA, America's halftime show starring Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, Travis Tritt, Jason Aldean, Aaron Lewis of Stained, John Rich, Lee Greenwood, Forgigato Blow, which is a Twitter handle for Trump's nephew. I believe that's a parody account. And of course, featuring a guest appearance from Measles. So now you would think the guest appearance from Measles would be the giveaway, right? If not the fact that this is just a sort of comical who's who of, the most hardcore MAGA performers you could find. Of course, the halftime show lasts about 15 minutes, which means you couldn't fit all these performers in one halftime show, even if you wanted. But the fact that the guest appearance from Measles at the end,
Unless you did like the super band from hell.
yeah, like a medley, right? Yeah, exactly, like a traveling Wilburys, exactly. But the Measles guest appearance at the end, you would think would be a giveaway in the USA hat and the beer can and that, but apparently not. Apparently, a decent amount of MAGA people actually fell for this and actually thought that that this was the real advertisement for the Turning Point USA halftime show.
They're the idiots. The
Yeah,
Super
right.
Bowl viewers are the idiots.
This event will have more viewers during the Super Bowl halftime than Idiot Big Bunny. Right. Mike Engelman. He's into it. And guess what? He got Gunther. He got Gunther to fall for it. He got Gunther to bite. Now, Mike Engelman, I don't think is in on it because this is like a real MAGA account. But Gunther maybe Gunther is AI because the only way you could fall for this if you're a bot, right? I mean, how can a human being fall for that? A guest appearance by Measles. How can you fall for that?
Okay. There have been pictures I've seen of Gunther Eagleman in the wild. Now that could just be that he's posing as the author.
Yeah, he could have a bot set to respond to this. He could,
let's put it this way. We don't know that Gunther Eagleman is a bot, but we know with some assurance that not only could AI run his account, AI could probably run his account better. That's an argument for it
Yeah.
being a human. Like AI is more sophisticated at this point than his account is.
Then Gunther Eagleman. He says, I'll be watching. And Mike Engelman excited because you got the Gunther reply that raises your profile. Muscle, 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 muscle. Alpha, 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 alpha.
No, pretty much all of his shit is like that. It's like 3 words.
Yeah, right,
I'm
exactly.
Bryce!
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, hell yes, says Shane S. I hope everyone switches over to it in order to make a statement to the NFL. And I hope the game is a blowout in the first half. So if this halftime show runs long, it causes people not to switch back to the game. Runs long. This is like a whole day. This is like at a music festival. This would be a whole day's slate of performers here. If it runs long, Digital Sass says definitely going to be a better halftime show than the woke ass NFL is putting on. But guess who spoils it? Pleasantly Pragmatic says guest appearance from Measles. I think someone really pulled a fast one here and have conservatives looking a bit silly for reposting. And then Melania Bird doesn't get it. She's like, why? Who is Measles? She's like, what do you mean? Guest appearance from Measles. Who is that? and Pleasantly Pragmatic says, well, there was a band in 1965 that played at Kent State by that name. But I'm assuming we are going more viral here. Get it? Viral, in quotes. Pleasantly Pragmatic bringing the dad jokes. Hey, Graham Allen fell for it too. This will be the greatest halftime show ever. This 100% beats Bad Bunny. Wow, it's official. It's happening, says John Strand. TPUSA is launching the first ever American Patriots Super Bowl halftime show. This is how we win. This is how we take our country back. What do you mean? I thought you already won. I thought that's what the whole last year was. I thought that's what 2024 was. I thought you won.
Winning.
That was winning the culture war. That was owning the libs. And now the libs seem to kind of own you back with this, says Nicole. This isn't real. Special appearance by Measles is the libs owning you. Yes. Obviously. Fucking obviously it's the libs owning you. And, Jack Posobiec had to very subtly call this out. Of course, he wasn't going to actually post the graphic because that would kind of expose probably half of his followers for the idiots that they are. But he says
that's what separates the pros from the pygmies, man.
Exactly. He just posts, in true subtweet fashion without showing the graphic. No artists have been announced for the TPUSA halftime show yet. He just said he's going to get Creed. It didn't arouse your suspicions that Creed wasn't on the list? This guy's going to get Creed. He's determined to get Creed. He's a huge Creed fan. Creed's not on the list, so he has to come out and say, listen, no artists have been announced yet. So this is how you know the tide's turning. A theme of the live stream tonight is going to be, MAGA's kind of losing it a little bit. The Manosphere guys are starting to turn. The real just anti-Arab racists are starting to turn based on the Qatar Air Force Base, whatever that is. And this is a sign of it too, because, it was a funny thing. All of our lives, the right-wingers were always kind of the squares who were never in on the joke. And it was the left-wingers who were kind of the subversive counterculture types, right? Who would do things like that and make fun of the squares who were the conservatives. And then in 2016, that kind of flipped, right? Trump became counterculture because the Democrats insisted on installing Hillary Clinton. And so the Democrats became the establishment. They became the squares. Right. And then all these kind of renegade personalities started affiliating with MAGA, like Alex Jones, like Roger Stone, like Milo Yiannopoulos, provocateur, but funny, right? All those guys, kind of like these eccentric personalities who could make a joke and take a joke and have fun. But now you see, this is what power does to you. They're starting to become the squares again, right? They're starting to become the nerds again who would fall for something like that. Who would fall for something that's just so obviously a troll. I mean, to not pick up on guest appearance by Measles is pretty pathetic. And yeah, that seems to be what's happening. Things are kind of reverting to form, kind of like the right. They're becoming the censorious ones again. They're becoming the squares again. They're becoming the ones who are really kind of slow on the uptake when it comes to things like this. It's kind of an interesting cultural moment that we're living through, where the pendulum's kind of swinging back to where it was most of our lives, I think.
Well, this is what you got to remember. I think it was Adlai Stevenson who said, "It's hard out here for a pimp."
Yeah.
So you got most of these people that you see jumping on that or reposting that, and this is how we take our country back. I mean, they're probably doing that shit like while at the same time making breakfast. Like this, it's a business, man. It's a business. They saw some culture war provocation, and oh, that's how they make their money, man. That's how they make their money. And if you saw when they were all grabbing these videos that sorority girls do every year, apparently, as part of Rush Week, they do. I mean, I guess the higher end, better financed ones that can hire a choreographer. Who knew that was part of sorority culture? Not us. Right. They were all sharing around exclusively white girls doing this. We're so back. We're so back. And then you're going to say there's no racial element to what you're doing? Because listen, man, if white girls do that during their sorority rush, I am quite sure that the black sororities do it too. Right. And they probably do it very well. So why not? We're so back with those. If this is not about race, why not? It was very revealing. I might actually be able to justify putting this on the show this week. So I told you it was going to be very interesting to see how the nerd channels were going to negotiate the Ellison thing. Mm-hmm. Like CBS has Star Trek, like they can't completely avoid it. So the show Peacemaker, James Gunn, they put him in charge of DC. They did like a Nazi Earth storyline, and they really revealed themselves because everyone had a take. Oh, we're being attacked by the revelation that this Earth is Nazi Earth. Well, if you don't feel like you're a Nazi, why do you feel like James Gunn's calling you out? Like if you're not a Nazi, why? Right. I didn't take it that way.
Yeah, I didn't take it personally.
When I watched it, why did you assume that? And then they were doing a segment on it, and the world of the Nazis was like very peaceful, and then it turns out it's a Nazi world. That's the big reveal. This parallel universe. And Critical Drinker, they were having a discussion, and he goes, "Yeah, well, and that world's very peaceful. Do they realize what they're admitting?" And then he stopped, and and that was it. Like, he saw this could be career-ending if I continue
right.
with that thought. But, yeah, man.
I thought the Indiana Jones had the hero and villain dynamic all...
you're seeing how... it's culture and politics always kind of pace each other. It's always a reflection of each other. And I think what you're seeing in all of these quarters is their business is based on being in opposition to woke liberalism, right? And in defeating woke liberalism, they're more and more desperate. In the absence of that as a really potent enemy, to keep remember, it's a business for them. It's a business all across the board, whether it's Gunther Eagleman or the Critical Drinker or whatever, man. It's all this business that is based on reactionary takes. The less you have to react to, the more extremely reactionary you have to become. That's what this is. Like, they saw that. They need content, man. They need content. They're just not as many blue-haired teachers trying to misgender kids in the classroom anymore. They just don't have a lot of those videos on TikTok
to
share around and gin up outrage about.
Wait till Shama Sawant's in Congress, baby.
Well, that's it.
Then we're so back.
We're so back. We're so back. We're gonna be sharing around choreographed drag shows at the trans only sorority houses.
Yeah, exactly.
Please clap.